Hi, Susan. How are you?
Hi. Good, good. Today I'm drinking something new for Thursday, Will, since it's too early now to start drinking the effervescent substance. I'm now drinking yerba mate because I'm trying to cut down on the amount of coffee and, a new hot brew.
I'm drinking some ginger lemon tea, so we're both avoiding the caffeine at the moment. That could be good or bad for this recording. So it's Thirsty Thursday, folks, the 4 p.m. report after show, where we cover the topics that either we thought were a little too thirsty or we find thirsty that were out there on the internet this week. But we always start off by talking about our podcast that just went out this morning at 4 a.m., the 4 a.m. report. Susan, give me a 30-second rundown. Why should people watch our podcast?
It's about planning. I think all November long, we've talked about various aspects of planning. And this is a sort of roundup. It's really short. It's 11 minutes. A roundup of sort of the 7 pillars that we hit as we planned for 2021, because lots of stuff has changed in one absolute plan, and one fun long weekend of planning kind of thing is not really possible. So we've broken that down. So have a listen. It's 11 minutes, so I won't waste a lot of time telling you about it.
Excellent. So that's the 4 a.m. report, folks. Check that out. Before we get into the new topics, last week we talked about Harry Styles wearing the dress with the blazer, getting slack from the conservatives of America, saying this is not what a man is, and I don't want my children to grow up thinking that's what a man does and wears a dress. Our men have to be strong. Well, Harry just got nominated for his first Grammy Award, so maybe we played a little part in getting Harry that last little bit of publicity. But in addition to Harry, lots of women were kind of nominated for the big awards. Dua Lipa is all over the place. Beyonce was nominated for Black Parade. So congratulations to everyone there, and Harry,
cool.
You knew you could do it.
Yes.
And then Susan, you wanted to talk about the Booboo made by Burts Bees.
It's interesting how more and more brands are starting down this path of, our communication is not at all inclusive. It's got a whole bunch of white people in it, and we need to change that. And sometimes, while that's a good intention, it falls down when it becomes not deeply thought through. And Burts Bees this week, yesterday actually, got into a lot of trouble because they had a bunch of different families that they called Burts Bees families. And, they tried to make that inclusive. So there was like Asian, there was mixed race, and then there was a Black family. Except the Black family was a mom and 2 kids with a painfully obviously missing dad, which seemed like they were saying that, or rather the criticism that came down towards it was that Black dads are somehow absentee dads, which is a horrible, thing to propagate. And they took it down and apologized. However, it's been the start of several discourses on the subject. And kind of, as we looked at it as a team, Will, one of the questions that came out was like, does nobody in marketing look at these things before they go out? They do, but I guess you get so close to it that you've probably worked out some logic why this is excellent. But
Yeah. Oh, well, it's good they apologized right away, though. I think I saw some stuff up from them. But, yeah, you gotta make sure you, I guess, pay attention to those sort of things, because I'm sure they wanted to show a single mom with kids. But by choosing a Black single mom with kids, that is going to strike a nerve because of old stereotypes that people have used and thought. So,
agreed. What made it worse, I think, was that in their apology, they said something about the reason that dad wasn't there was because he had a conflict in which he had to be in another project because of scheduling. I was like, come on, don't apologize and call it a scheduling problem.
So let's talk a little bit more about a few other ads. There was an ad this week that I saw that made me laugh. It's a Christmas ad. It's a Norwegian Christmas ad. It's for the Norwegian Postal Service. They've just started doing around-the-clock hours. They'll deliver all times of day. And guess who's not happy about this? Santa. So Santa turns into a grumpy old white man, like that angry white man. All of a sudden, he's like wanting to make Christmas great again. His friend asks him about the glaciers that are melting up there in Norway, and he's like, I don't see anything happening. Global warming is not real. Like, he turns into a total asshole, old white man, Trump kind of guy. all because his job's being taken away from him. Like so they kind of parody that sort of thing. In the end, of course, it all comes around. Santa gets a late night delivery from a lovely woman with a parcel of letters, your letters, everyone. And it melts his heart again. But they did a bunch of little Trump jokes throughout it, and I really enjoyed it. And Susan, you were saying that there's someone's put together some collection of some of the best holiday ads so far.
Yeah, this is the season for advertising, isn't it? Like a majority of ads come out between Super Bowl and the holiday season. And so there was a list from, I think, Social Media Examiner. We'll put it in here. Or, subscribe to the Thirst List. That's our weekly roundup in which we touch on these stories and several other side reading bits. And you'll never enter a room and not know what people are talking about again if you read this short thing. So yeah, we'll post the links in there. There was about 20 or 25 holiday ads that were cool. I saw about half of them. They were really cool.
Yeah. So there's that. The other thing in the world of big brands and advertising, I don't know if you've noticed this, but on Twitter, brands are having fun with Twitter's little disclaimers they're putting at the bottom of tweets that they're flagging as not true.
Fact-checking thing?
The fact-checking. So, of course, the smart marketers out there have jumped on this. Like, for instance, Burger King put up a tweet. Me, do you want anything from BK? Her, no thanks, I'm not hungry. And then it says, official sources stated that this is false and misleading. Or Oreo cookies put up, Oreo cookies are the best. And then they put that little claim disclaimer saying, this claim has been disputed by no one. So there's a bunch of brands that are having fun with this claim is false or misleading or this, and they're having a lot of fun. And the late night comedians have got in on it too. So you'll probably see some of that going through your Twitter feed. But little things like that just make me happy.
That's very cool.
Especially after the past couple months of these platforms having to identify constantly, especially with the president, all of the false information that's out there. Now we can have a little bit of fun with it. We can relax a little bit. So
yeah. As well, just a thought about how you use one device in a different way, right? I mean, it's all about that creativity and having some fun with your brand.
Mm-hmm.
What else did we have? Oh yeah, I wanted to quickly sort of pay homage to Diego Maradona. He died yesterday at 60. And I remember growing up, in India, we were all about cricket and soccer. And this was one of the most extra people, wasn't he? He was flashy and arrogant. He threw tantrums on the field, but he was also a genius and quite skilled. So it was interesting to me that felt like sort of the end of an era. And I suppose on the parallel front, I wanted to draw parallels to what we talk about, which is that personality, like loud and proud, just be who you are. And I think he was a really
I know
good.
that you're going to be loved by some and hated by some.
Hated by some.
Right? I was saying, it made me think of my dad who's passed away, but he disliked Maradona and his style of play. He was from that old school British conservative, you run the ball down the wings and you cross it into the middle. None of this fancy I'm the star footwork that he did, in the center of the field. And then not to mention, the dramatic, oh, I've been injured, that sort of thing. My dad hated everything about that kind of soccer. So I thought of my dad when he just died.
See, there you go. So some people will love you and some people will hate you. Not even, the great celebrities of our time are immune. So you just need to sort of embrace that personality and go with it.
And Susan, I think we have a little bit of time left. You also wanted to mention Meals on Heels?
Oh yeah. So this was really a shout out to each of us to look in our local communities, have a little bit of thought about the various services, restaurants, that kind of thing that are there. A story that caught my eye yesterday was this San Francisco club and restaurant that sort of has changed around. Obviously, they're no longer open at capacity like before, and they wanted to do something cool. So they've started doing this thing called Meals on Heels, where you order, you pick the music you want, and then a drag queen will come deliver to your door and lip sync the song of your choice. So, have a look around. I think a lot of people are doing interesting things. And I, for one, am going to make a bigger effort to find fun things in Toronto that I want to support.
Very cool. Very cool. And one last thing from me. If you're like me and maybe you're not going to be able to get together with your family, I think I'm probably going to be alone this Christmas because I'm the only one in my family in this zone or in the lockdown. HBO Max, they are streaming and premiering Wonder Woman 1984 on Christmas Day. Start new Christmas traditions, folks. All is not lost. Enjoy a little Wonder Woman on Christmas Day with me. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.